to go ahead and stop the music, switch over and turn the sound. Here we are. You should be live.
Very nice. Welcome.
Please count down when you're ready.
Okay. Let me see. I have to get the... here it is. Okay. Yeah, that's Quest for Camelot. I want to start a new game, and I am about to start in, I would say 3, 2, 1, and go. So, welcome to Quest for Camelot 100%. This is a Game Boy game, Game Boy Color, as you can tell, but it's not one of the best games out there, I have to say. It's also not one of the best or well-known games out there, but it's a good game to speedrun, I kind of noticed, so I'm doing this. Currently I'm the only one doing this, and feel free to jump in and head over to the Discord server that I created for this game, and you find all the information on the leaderboard on speedrun.com. So, enough advertising. This is a game where you have to... It's kind of a Zelda rip-off, clone, whatever. Wannabe, Zelda wannabe I would call it. And you are facing an evil knight who's called Ruber. There's also, by the way, there's also a movie. This game is after a movie. Actually a pretty good movie, but the game is not that good, so they kind of messed up. So this is what we are supposed to do in this game. We have to collect stuff for some NPCs, and then they give us something that we need to proceed. Like a little adventure, not really RPG, but kind of. So first thing we want to do is we want to collect hens for this guy over there, who is clothed as a farmer, and he looks like a farmer. He also is something like a farmer because he has hens, but he's actually a blacksmith who gives us a sword. That's some kind of joke the game does all the time. Now we have the sword. We have to, no, not collect, but we have to kill all the soldiers. These are enemies that are part of Surubu's evil army, and we have to defeat them all. Also, we want to defeat as many of them as we can, because they give a lot of experience points, but I will come to that later. First off, we have to free this kind of village from these evil people here, and then we can proceed. What we want to do here is we want to access our mansion where we used to live with our mother. Unfortunately, our father died in some battle he had with Surubu when Surubu, something like 7 or 8 years ago, he wanted to take Excalibur and rule Camelot on its own. But our father kind of protected King Arthur and died in the battle against Surubu, and now Surubu managed to flee and escape and hide somewhere in the forest or something. And yeah, guess what? Now he's back, and he wants to claim his... yeah, he wants to rule and find Excalibur and rule over Camelot again. So we want to... Actually, at the moment we do not want to stop him. We actually want to help our mother. She's still in the mansion somewhere. Surubu is in the mansion as well. Kaylee managed to escape this, and now she's going back and wants to rescue her mother. But before we can do that, obviously we need a sword. We now have that, and we need some advice, and we need to learn a certain attack, a certain sword attack, before we can proceed. It's a nice little attack that we will never use, which is this is the Swordmaster. He's looking like a blacksmith, but yeah. He teaches us this attack. I will just show it off, only for you to see it once. That's the spin attack. It looks like a spin attack that you know from games like Zelda, but it's actually a little bit different because it doesn't push away enemies from you. Instead, it drags them closer to you, which means you get hit as soon as you start this attack. So this is pretty dumb. We will never use that attack in the speedrun. Also, oh, I was looking somewhere else. Sorry. Yeah. Now we kill more soldiers. As I said, they give you lots of experience points, which means they give you 4 experience points each, which is pretty much the most experience points that you can get for an enemy kill. So that's why we do that. So now we enter the mansion. The mansion is haunted by ghosts at the moment, so we have to get rid of them all. Again, killing all the enemies is required. That's, by the way, that's only in 100%. There's also an any percent category, obviously, and any percent skips a lot of stuff, and yeah, a lot of items and stuff, optional stuff, and in any percent it's not required to kill all the enemies in this area. In 100% it is, because killing all the enemies opens a room that contains 2 items that you have to get. And that's why we have to kill all the ghosts. You could say that killing all the ghosts gives you experience points as well, but that's not really that's not really meaningful. Or that's not really worth it to kill ghosts for XP, because they give you 1 experience point. You could say that. You might are wondering, because normally in such games like these, it's pretty much a fact that enemies that come later in the game or that are stronger than enemies before give you more experience points. Not in this game. This game's the experience point distribution is completely random, I suppose, in this game. So we are mainly focusing on soldiers alone, and only soldiers. And nothing else. So now we got the shield. We have to rescue this dog to get the shield. The shield is also very optional, and that's the ghost attack, by the way. We do not want to see that at all. And now we could see it twice. That's pretty bad. I'm taking it slow here. I do not want to lose that many hearts, because I do not have that many. That's the wrong way. What I actually want to do is I want to get rid of these ghosts as fast as possible, and then I want to head over to the experience point grinding section. So before we do that, we have to find an item, and with this opportunity we also use this opportunity, we'll take this opportunity to kill all the ghosts here. Because we need to have access to the roof of this mansion. Yes, it was a dog. I could see your question. It was a dog. Sometimes it looks like, from one side it looks like a pig, I think. Maybe from another side it looks like a sheep. It's completely fine to think that, because the sprite really looks a little bit off. But it is supposed to be a dog. It's also something that this man, I delivered the dog to a certain NPC in this room or in this mansion. Normally you are supposed to find this man, and he says something about, yes, that his dog is missing and you have to find it. For him to give you some kind of item as a benefit from that. And he tells you about his dog, so you know that as a dog. But the problem with that is, as soon as you talk to him, he runs away to a different room in this area, and we do not want him to do that, because that's just not necessary. We can just deliver the dog to him and be good to go. So now we should be... Yes, I'm pretty sure that's the right dog emote. Very well. So now we are good to go. We have killed all the ghosts, I suppose. I'm pretty sure about that. So we go back to where the dog was. There was another path that leads us to the hidden or secret room or sealed room, whatever. So there's a door here. This door only opens, or is only crushable with the sword when you killed all the ghosts. These are two items that you have to get for 100%. One is the compass. We will never use that in the marathon, in the run. In the marathon we could use it, but we gotta go fast. I can just tell you what the compass does. The compass is a very useful item when you play it casually, because it shows you a map. You can scroll over a map and it shows you all the enemy locations and item locations of the area that you are in, which is pretty helpful in many ways, because there are areas that are designed like mazes and you have to find a way through. So it's pretty useful actually. But in the speedrun you do not want to use the compass, you do not need to use the compass because you know the way anyway, so there's no need for that. We know where to go, at least most of the time, that is. So now we are heading over here to this roof thing. We have to equip the grappling hook, and there's an arrow here pointing to the wall, which means you can use the grappling hook here. There are exactly 2 locations on the game, so now we reached a new sword level. Sword level 2, I actually want to grab that heart. And this sword level means our sword gets more powerful. We can kill enemies a lot faster now. Like, we only need 1 less hit to kill them, which is nice. And we need a certain amount of experience points or a certain sword level at various occasions on the game, or various places. Like, there are 2 places where we need a certain sword level, which is in Road 3 and at Road 6. Also full health, pretty nice. So this is number 1. This is the, by the way, this is the best location. You don't know where to go. I'm sorry, I will show it to you, so I will not use the compass. I'm sorry. I just don't want to. Yeah, we have to do this area 5 times because it's the best way to get experience. The enemies are not too far away from each other, so you can kill them quickly, you can reach and kill them quickly, and you can respawn them. And as I said, these are the enemies that give you the most experience points in the game per kill, which is 4 experience points. There are no enemies that give you the same amount or even more than that, so you cannot get better than this. And we need, as I said, we need a certain amount of XP at a certain point of the game, a certain place. And we just prepare the run by doing this. It's pretty early to grind for XP, but it's necessary to prepare for the rest of the run. So that was number 2, I believe. Hopefully I do not forget some, or I do not miscount or something like that. Sometimes it happens. Also, you will see, if you might know the run, I do not really believe that, but there might be a chance that some of you know the run already, so there will be a slight difference because there was a new strat. Actually, there was a new strat found by my 10-year-old son, which is pretty nice. He was fooling around and playing around with the game, and he found out that there's a certain area in the game where I always thought you have to kill all the enemies in the area, which is not required. You only have to kill some of them, and not killing the enemies in this area means you have to accommodate for the missing experience points, so that's why we do this 5 times instead of 4 times as we did before. And now we can use the new strategy to clear an area in the later game a little bit faster, and it actually saves some time. So killing these enemies here with 1 additional cycle instead of there, it's just faster because the other area the enemies are too far away and it takes longer to kill them. So that's pretty nice to have. And that resulted also in a new world record, or in a new, by the way, it's an uncontested world record. I do not have any competition right now on the leaderboard, unfortunately. Feel free to join in, as I said. Speedrunning prodigies. Yes. Absolutely. And yeah, this should be number 4, I believe. think I am good to go when I did the section, or when I did one cycle and the timer says something about 15 minutes. I think that's a good indicator for me to go and to proceed. Hopefully that is right. I do not want to mess up the experience point stuff, because if you're not able to get enough experience points by at a certain point in the game, you will be pretty much in trouble, because then you would have to... The only enemies that you can respawn in that area where you need sword level 4 is enemies like mice and snakes, and they give you 1 experience point and 2 experience points, and it really takes a long time to grind for XP in that area. So we really want to make sure to be prepared and to kill enough soldiers, that is. I hope that this is completely right. It should be fine. That should be fine. Now we have the key. Obviously the key to the basement was placed at the top of the building, on the rooftop, which is kind of strange, but anyway. We got the grappling hook to access the key, and then we have the key to access the... Thanks for telling that. Thanks for pointing that out. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's right. As I said, there was a Discord. Also good spider movement. Sometimes the spider turns up and it is blocking your way. You have to go around it. And sometimes it just faces left and goes away, which is nice. So that's an indicator for good luck, I suppose. Hopefully we do not die, because dying resets the RNG seed. And now we should have a very good... No, I do not... Actually, I do not want to kill this spider. I do only want to kill 1 spider. Spiders give 3 experience points, by the way. So one thing you never saw me doing is saving the game. And take a close look at my money counter, because it went down by 30 coins. As you can tell, saving costs money in this game. Saving is not free. So... that's one downside. Now we head to the boss with very chill music. Enjoy the music whenever possible. Enjoy the music when you head into a very heated battle with the boss. This is Ceruber, by the way, a very ugly guy. And we just defeat him and we are good to go. And that's World 1. Now we are teleported to Merlin's house. And he tells us that we did well and stuff, and then, because we found all the items and all the secret items, we got a parchment, and we have to collect 8 of them, which means there are 8 worlds, and each world contains 1 parchment. And we have to find them all. Also, because it's a marathon, I will save, I will take these occasions to save. You have certain checkpoints. Whenever you start a new world, you get a free save, which is nice, and I will use that, because... yeah, it's because it's a marathon. And bad things can happen. Bad things can happen in this game. Also snake RNG means snake turns to the left. This snake goes away, pretty nice. Sometimes it just faces you, sometimes it turns somewhere else and goes away. Not too bad. Now we are on the second world. World 2 is the forest. And we have to... yes, Ceruber escaped, and he took our mother with him, and now we have to follow him through the forest, or something like that. I don't really know. It's a long time since I watched the cutscenes, and it's also a very long time since I saw the movie. So bear with me. I do not have the plot in mind in a very detailed way. Now we start level 3, which is nice, because we can kill enemies faster, as I said. We want to make sure to kill as many soldiers as we can. They are pretty much lying on our way, and not too far away, which is good. And we head over to this house. The guy we just met at the bridge is actually this guy, but he's not really wanting to help us. He's not really willing to help us, and you can remember that for your life. Whenever you want to persuade someone to help you, you just exit the house, re-enter the house and talk to him again. That helps a lot, because he completely changed his mind. Now he's willing to help us, and he gives us access to a cave where there is an item that we need to get to fight the next boss. Yeah, thanks for pointing out that there's a guide. There's a written guide for any percent, and there's a video tutorial for 100%, because I was too lazy to write something down. But I think I should do that at one point, because the 100% route has a little bit changed. Did I say route? I'm not sure. I'm still not sure how to pronounce that properly, so bear with me. Now we bought a shovel. As you can see, the shovel costs, I think it costs 80 coins. And it's a pretty useful item, not only because we needed to dig something out that we need to proceed. You can also dig in grassy areas, you can also dig for hearts and coins, which is pretty nice. But there are not lots of these areas. In this road you can dig, and there is another one, I believe. I think it's road 6 where you can dig. And road 5, yeah. Oh, the spider hit me. That's not too... I cannot. Now I messed up. I completely messed up the spider cycle, so by hitting this spider and making it move towards move into the other direction. Normally you can just outrun these spiders and go and pass them without getting hit and without killing them. This is the only spider that we actually want to kill in this cave, because it's too close here to go around. Not a big deal. Okay. This spider behaves a lot, because sometimes it faces upwards, then it's in the way, it's blocking your way to this treasure chest. And this treasure chest contains the item that we need to get, which is the magical stick that cannot break, or as soon as it breaks it returns unbroken into your hand or something like that. I don't know. It's a mystical thing. And we exit the cave. Now we can dig for hearts, as I said. No luck whatsoever, doesn't matter. I want to make sure, before leaving this area, I want to make sure to be at full health, but at the moment it's not too bad. It's not too big of a problem. Here we are fighting more soldiers, and now we head over to the next section. This is the section where the new strat comes into play and plays a big role, because we only kill, that was a heart. Unfortunately, I did not wait. And I lost another heart. Now I'm pretty bad at hearts. Okay. This was a turnip. You can dig out turnips as well. Okay, that's enough. These little turnips are functioning as some food that you can give to a horse, and because you are required to ride a horse across a barrier that is, or across a bridge that is located right to Merlin. We just passed Merlin, by the way. The only thing is the horse throws you off, and it really needs some something to eat, and these little turnips are not enough. It needs a large turnip, and the requirement to get the large turnip is to help this farmer that we just passed by getting rid of all the soldiers in his garden, which is this one here. And now we are able to dig out the large turnip, which is pretty big. Actually pretty big. So now that we have that, we can feed the horse and ride. And the new strat was to not kill all the enemies in this area, only the ones that are directly blocking your way and that are located in the garden of this man, which is actually a farmer. And this one really is a farmer, for once. So now we have the large turnip in our inventory, in our, I would call it meta. No, I never call it that way, but I would call it now some kind of meta inventory or sub inventory or something. You cannot access it in the menu, you cannot put it on a button. It's not a usable item, but it's an item that you just have. So it's just a flag in the game's memory. And having that in your inventory allows you to ride the horse for an unlimited amount of time, which is actually a good thing, because you need to ride for an unlimited amount of time and you need to cross that bridge. The bad thing is, well, we come to that. As soon as we start riding the horse, you will see the downside of riding the horse. There's a big disadvantage in doing that, but we still need to do that. So now we killed enough enemies in this world, in this area. And we dig out this heart container. It's conveniently placed right on our way downwards, so pretty nice to get that. Pretty easy. Also, nice little heart placed directly there. Second try. So now we're at full health. We can ride the horse. This is the horse, by the way. And yeah, riding the horse, you should think that riding a horse means you can go faster, which is not the case. And that's number one of disadvantages. There's an even more greater disadvantage in riding the horse, which is you cannot get off the horse by yourself. Only when the horse throws you off, which it does when you feed a small turnip. Once you've fed the large turnip, it never throws you off, so you cannot really get off the horse. You also cannot use any items when you are on the horse, so you cannot save anymore. And yes, you cannot use your sword anymore. You cannot do anything to defend yourself. So it's pretty much, it could be a problem, but yeah, you have to just be patient and wait for the enemies to go away. And then you are good to go. So that's the only thing that we can do. We have to wait for them to let us through, and then we can proceed. So there's a nice little section, a nice little writing section upcoming, which is pretty boring, so I have to make up my mind. What can I tell you? What else can I tell you? Okay, there's a little bit of time now. Let me think about something. Maybe you will. Maybe I can tell you that you will like the next upcoming enemies, which is dragons, and they are pretty cute, in my opinion. Oh, it's over already. Okay. Here we are, nice cute dragons, but they are not just cute, they are also dangerous, as you might see in a couple of seconds when I try to kill one of them, because they are blocking my way through this maze here. This is a situation where the compass comes in very handy and gets very useful to find a way through. And they did not spit fire yet. Hopefully they do not. As soon as they start to spit fire, they can spit fire, by the way. As soon as they start to do that, the fire that is coming out of their mouths, it has a pretty obnoxious hitbox, in my opinion. This guy is blocking my way. Sometimes you can get past this guy without killing him. Sometimes you cannot. And as you can tell, enemy movement is pretty much random in this game. So, except for the enemies that follow you, these are the only exceptions. And now we got one heart refill and the slingshot. Slingshot is actually a pretty useful item in the game that is not required, but in 100% we need to get it. That's the fire animation. And I got lucky because sometimes the fire animation can drag you in and makes you stun lock you a little bit. So hitbox, I always refer to that as hitbox merging, which is a really bad thing and happens a lot in this game. Can you? Okay, no, you can't. Okay, I just kill you. Also, sometimes you can get past this guy without doing anything, and sometimes you just have to kill that guy. Okay, enemy movement is a little bit off. Maybe the seat is not that good. So I can... that's a good cycle. I can avoid getting hit by these plants. And now the upcoming boss. You know what, let me just make a safety save, because marathon and reasons. It's the last possible location where I can do that, because as soon as I take a step further, I will start the boss fight. Which is... okay, it was a couple of steps. Which is the plant. The plant is the most terrifying boss in the game, actually, because as you can see, I have to do this, and I have to try and place the stick into the mouth. And placing the stick is kind of... sometimes it's kind of... it feels kind of pixel perfect. It's a really mysterious thing to do. That was a good fight. 3 cycle is pretty much... well, actually pretty good, so to speak. So now we got a parchment, next parchment, and we can head over to the next world. Pretty well. And I will do safety save. Yes, I do. I have to remind myself to do a safety save, because I'm not used to that. In attempts, of course, you do not save anywhere, because it takes time. But in a marathon you should save, because the game can do stupid things. So, next area, more dragons. And even more and more dragons. You will see a lot of them in this area. And we have to collect a dragon scale. Also, Kaylee can cut down bushes with trees even, with her sword. Nice thing to know. And pretty useful skill, actually. I do not know, because I do not use my normal splits for getting the time. I have just one timer, just telling me the numbers that the numbers that I am seeing. I think I'm not at world record pace. No, I don't think so. Right now. It might be world record pace when I do not mess up this jumping section, and when I do not mess up the key maze and stuff, because the world record contains some slight little mistakes by me. Also, this is the Swordmaster again. He teaches us another technique, which is pretty useful and really required, because it allows us to run, and running is obviously a lot faster than just walking. So I kind of messed up the stone cycle here. Maybe I can get the... yeah, thank you. I can get this cycle, that's pretty good. And this is also the hardest part in the game when it comes to platforming, because jumping in this game is really awkward. As you can tell, I have to adjust myself after every jump, because you cannot just jump over a certain amount of tiles or something. This is the dart attack, by the way. And running is a lot faster than walking. And we will do this running stuff a lot in the upcoming areas until the end. So basically it's how running works in this game is you have to align yourself properly, because when you touch an enemy it's over. And when you touch a wall, it's over, and you have to be on the same axis as the enemies. And otherwise, you will just stop running. And you have to push the directional pad in one direction twice, and then you can hit the sword button to start to run. And sometimes it just doesn't work because your hands are sweaty and kind of stiff, so you cannot really execute the attack properly. Which will happen because I'm a little bit nervous, but most of the time I will get that to work, I think. That's not very good, no. I just kill that guy the normal way. Also, this cave is very forgiving, because when you get hit, you will... the enemies in this cave will always spawn a heart all the time, which is pretty nice to fill up your hearts if you got hurt outside by the dragons. And I have to enter this cave. I also had to collect all these eggs, as you could tell. Now I got 5 of them, and I can deliver them to Devon and Cornwall. This is the two-headed dragon, Devon and Cornwall. You will know him from the movies, or movie, actually only one. And going for the quick kill, very nice. Got the quick kill and got the key. Pretty good. First try key. Normally you have to run around this cave, killing all the enemies until someone drops the key. But sometimes you get lucky and get it first try, which is pretty nice. So this could mean we are in world record pace, but I do not think so, because I saved a lot and wasted some time by saving and doing stuff. Can you please? Thank you. Also, I do not want to drown right now. Drowning takes you back to the last entrance you have used, which is the cave of Devon and Cornwall, and we need to get to the exit of the cave entirely. So, getting heart back, very nice. Also killing more soldiers on our way out. So the entrance or the exit is blocked. Devon and Cornwall can help us, and we can just jump out of the cave as soon as he stops talking. Now we have to wait to avoid jumping unintentionally into the wrong direction, and we can just jump over here and go to the next section. You already saw that plant. The plant is blocking our way, that's why we need Devon and Cornwall. And what he does is he just stomps over, and now the path is free and we can proceed. Pretty nice. Devon and Cornwall is a pretty nice character. He will help us a lot in the later game as well. So that's not the last time you saw him or them actually, because he has two heads. It's actually two dragons. So getting this heart container from the secret area, now we can proceed downwards over the bridge, and guess what? There are more dragons. But we don't want to kill all of them, we only kill some of them, and unfortunately we have to run into them twice. That's bad actually. I kinda messed up. But I got the heart back, okay. Not too bad. So yeah, I have to run into them twice, which might look like a little bit strange, but I have to be at a certain distance and then I can run into them again, so that was pretty good. And you have to be able to execute the dart attack pretty fast sometimes. So now I can just outrun this guy, kill that guy. Hopefully he despawns as fast as he can, okay. Before the other one reaches me, and then I take this heart refill. Also, the heart refill is some kind of healing potion. It works the same way as a red potion in Zelda does. It heals you completely, but it can only be used once, and the amount of healing items you collect does not influence the amount of usages you have. You can only have one at a time. That was a really strange sentence. Okay, you can only have one at a time. You can only use it once. So you could think that why is it required to get them all? It is required for 100% because each road contains one heart container, one gem, and one heart refill, and you have to collect all of these so-called secret items to get the parchment. And because it's 100%, one rule is to get all the parchments, because at the end of the game there's a status screen, or it gives you some statistics about your game, your playthrough, and it tells you how many parchments you collected and how many collectible items you got. And of course for 100% we need to get everything that counts for this status screen as collectible item and parchment. And yeah, a requirement for all parchments is getting all the secret items, so that's what we do. So this is not a farmer, by the way. This is actually a carpenter disguised as a farmer. And there's a hill in the previous area. There's a little, actually a huge hill we have to cross. We have to get down without getting hit or something, without breaking our legs and our bones. So therefore, of course, it's a snowy area. We need a sled because we want to do a little sleigh ride. And for that reason, he needs some. This carpenter actually is able to make us or to build a sled that we can use. He's also willing to do that, but before he can do that, he needs wood because he's kind of running out of wood. So that's what we do now. That was the wrong way. We have to go through this little maze here as fast as we can. That's where we need to spam the dart attack a lot, because running is faster. And we have to cut down trees, 6 in total, and with these trees he really needs a lot of wood to make one sled, but I do not complain. We just have to do that. Also, there's a little timer down there, so you have to do it in a certain amount of time, otherwise you fail and have to start over. I do not know what happens when you fail that. I think I never did that. I don't know. We do not want to do it either now, especially not now. And we want to... yeah, 1:14, that's pretty good. We had a lot of time left, and now we can exit this maze and go back to the previous area, and there is the sled already prepared for us to take and do a little ride. So yeah, this is the sled. Riding the sled is pretty strange because you cannot speed it up, you cannot slow it down, that was stupid. And you can do the section without getting hit, but it's pretty hard. And I am not doing that well. Big broccoli, of course. Yeah. Okay, now we're done here. Now that we're done here, we have to face one of the worst enemies in the game, mice, because they run around very fast and they are hard to get, hard to kill, hard to hit sometimes. I will do a little safety save because there's a chance I mess up the next section, which is a little quiz. Merlin is here and he tells us that we do not only need physical strength but also be mentally strong to face Ruber, and he gives us a little riddle section. So this is also the section where the world record pace will be thrown out of the window because I will take my time and read through the questions. Also, you might want to have a chance to answer them correctly. All the people out there who saw the movie might be able to do that, and all the other people who watch the run closely will also be able to do that, but not all of you will be, I think. Our leader has a rule, just if I repeat the king's name, of course it's King Arthur. Your mother is in trouble and her name was Juliana. I can do that really quick. Also, there are not always the same questions. It's a pool of 24, 25 questions or something like that, and you get 5 of them out of the pool, randomly chosen. And the good thing is the answers are always placed in the same order, and it's always the correct answer is always in the same place, so to speak. So that's a thing you might not know. The two-headed dragon, Devon and Cornwall, is actually not able to fly, which plays a role in World 6, because we have to help him to be able to fly. The king has an advisor, everyone should know the name, yeah, it's Merlin, just. And then another one, the father had a friend. This friend is actually willing to help us, and he helps us through the run, through the game, on different occasions in the world. He is just appearing and teaching us sword techniques, and that's a guy called Swordmaster. Of course, it's not a farm. You could say it's a farmer, because there are a lot of farmers who help us, but it's a Swordmaster. So now that we are the dragon question, yes, you would have failed. Okay, I understand. Sometimes these questions are a little bit hard and far-fetched, but sometimes they're making sense. Okay. Not too big of a deal. We are now heading into the cave, and this is actually the wizard cave, or the cave of an evil magician, and we have to kill that guy in order to weaken Ruber's army or something like that. I don't know, we just have to kill that guy, just do that. So, unfortunately, the entrance to the wizard's lair is closed. Or sealed. We have to open it, and in order to open it you have to solve a little puzzle, a little stone puzzle. It's not too hard because the answer or the solution is always the same, and you can just know it. But you cannot just use that knowledge to put down the solution and be good to go. You have to collect these maps that I am just doing. Oh, we should consume water. I already did that when I was riding the horse over that bridge. I took a sip, but yes, you're alright. I should do it again, I think. That's a good reminder. Yeah, stay hydrated, folks. Of course. Yeah, now we got to... Also there's... Let me take that heart because I want to be at full health. Behind this staircase to the north, over there, there's Merlin. He's located there, and you are actually supposed to bring all these maps. There are 3 of them. You're supposed to bring all these maps back to Merlin, and he can kind of decrypt them or something, and gives you the solution to the puzzle. But as I said, we already know the solution. We do not need to translate the map. We do not need Merlin to translate or decrypt the maps. We just have to collect them, and then we just solve the puzzle and be good to go. So that's the only way you can speed up this process a little bit, by not going to Merlin. But as I said, you have to collect the maps, unfortunately. Yeah, the bad. We can just pass. We can just pass. So this is a scary thing, and we are just going over here, collecting the last map, and then we are about to enter the wizard's or magician's lair and defeat this guy once and for all. Getting map, killing bats. Also, normally I would skip some of these bats or more of these bats, but I want to make sure to have enough XP. By the way, bats give you 2 experience points each, so that's not too bad. That's not too shabby. You can kill some of them to have some backup experience points, which is good. Because you don't want to be short on XP. Now I have to solve this puzzle here. As soon as you hear this little squeaky, screaming sound, high-pitched note, you know that you are good to go and that you did something right. There's another stone puzzle later in the game that has the same effect. When you fail or when you do a mistake... oh, full health, very nice. Yeah, you will hear a different sound. You will hear some sound, something like that. I cannot really do that, I cannot really... Yeah, that's the magician. He's stupid. Come on. I want to stunlock him, actually. That would be nice. I cannot do that right now. But now, yeah, maybe. Ah, he breaks free all the time. Okay, he dies. And normally when he dies, during his dying animation, he will shoot at you once more. So when you survive this fight with only 1 heart left, there's a chance that he kills you in the process of dying, and you will die as well, and you have to start over. It happened to me once, and it's not funny. So, in 100%, the magician fight is not too scary because you have lots of health. In any percent, obviously you do not have that much health because you do not collect any heart containers, which is kind of scary, yeah, and kind of difficult. So I would recommend to start, when you want to start to run the game, to start with 100% because it's easier. And you can build up some skill for killing enemies and bosses, and then with that you can have an easier time on any percent, I think. So in this area, now that we defeated the magician, we want to get Excalibur back, because Excalibur got stolen from Camelot. There was Sir Rubus Griffin was stealing Excalibur and dragged it into the forest, and the griffin was attacked by Merlin's bird called Aiden or something. I don't know, I don't really know. But yeah, the Excalibur fell into this forest, and now we have to find it. In order to find it, we first have to collect some... Actually, we are supposed to collect maps in this area. So we have to dig out maps. The first one we get, there's also Garrett somewhere here. He gives us the first one, and each map contains hints like you have to do 5 steps to the north, and then you have to do 7 steps to the left, and so on. And when you follow these hints or these there's a word missing, I'm sorry. When you follow these instructions, that's the word. When you follow these instructions, then you will finally get to the place where you can dig out this magical flute that I just did. And you have to give this flute to this bird. And the bird gives you the lead bracelet. And we need the lead bracelet because we want to be heavier. Because of a specific reason we want to be heavier, actually. Because there's some wind, and you already saw that when we needed a horse to cross this bridge with some strong winds on it. Yeah, we could use the horse to be heavier and to cross that, but now we do not have the horse, so we have to get the lead bracelet to cross this wind barrier here. And now we are on the next section, killing some snakes because they are in the way. We need to hit that switch that opens up this cave, and we need to make sure to not touch a bone that is lying on, that is conveniently placed on the way to the door. So, because touching a bone will immediately close the door, so do not do that. And we are entering the cave. This is actually the ogre's cave, because as soon as Excalibur fell down into the forest, there was an ogre who found it and took it with him into his cave. And now we have to visit this ogre and get Excalibur back, of course. Unfortunately, this ogre is a very smart guy, and he has done something very stupid. He's also a big Sokoban fan, obviously, because he placed a very high amount of stone puzzles like these before we can enter his cave and find him inside his cave. So we have to solve these puzzles. If you know Sokoban, you are good to go. You know what to do. These rooms are always the same. There are 7 rooms that we have to do in any percent and at 100%. And the result will be that we get an item that is called the snorkel. And we need the snorkel to cross some water before we can access the room, the boss arena where the ogre is hiding. So we need to have the snorkel to be able to swim through the ogre, and that's why we have to do these rooms. And you cannot really speed up the process. Also, you might be wondering why I do not run. The reason is I cannot access the menu, and I cannot access my... It's actually the same thing as riding a horse. You cannot access the menu, and you cannot access your inventory, and you cannot access your items. You cannot use your items. So, which means I cannot use the sword, which means I cannot run, because you need to you need to use the sword. You need to hit the sword button to run, and yeah, that's a thing I cannot do right now, unfortunately. So I have to do these rooms the old-fashioned way, by walking over and pushing around these things. And also I cannot access the menu, because accessing the menu means you have to press the start button. And in this section here, in this room puzzle section, you cannot leave these rooms. You also cannot save here, because you cannot access the menu, because when you press the start button to access the menu, Merlin will just reset the room, and you will have to do the room all over again. It's actually conveniently done, because as soon as you mess up, oh, I messed up. As soon as you mess up completely and you are kind of soft lock yourself in a situation, you cannot do anything but to reset the room, and it's nice to have that, of course. Otherwise the game would be over. Also, as soon as you know the solution to these rooms, it's pretty easy to just do it all over again, and to do it again and again, because the solution is obviously always the same. And there might be a chance to optimize these rooms by pushing these boulders a little bit differently, or maybe in a different order sometimes, but I do not really know. I just remember, or I just memorized these solutions like I do now, and I think I'm good to go. If you find something faster, just do it, and I will watch it, and we will include it into the route as well. So yeah, I didn't mention that, or I mentioned that there are 7 rooms you have to do in both categories. So you might ask yourself, or you might want to ask me, what does that mean? Is there a difference in 100%? And there is, because in 100% we have to collect all items, which means we do not have just to collect the snorkel, we also have to collect the heart container that is located and hidden in this cave. And in order to get through the heart container, you have to do 3 additional rooms. They are completely optional. You get a selection, or Merlin asks you if you want to do that. And you have to say yes in 100%, and obviously you have to say no in any percent, because you do not want to do that in any percent, because it takes some time, because it's 3 additional rooms that are a little bit harder than these ones. They are not harder when you know the solution, but normally they are. And yeah, that rewards you with the heart container in this world that you have to get to finally get the parchment for this world. Do not know if I said that, but there are 8 worlds in total, and there are 8 parchments. So in each world there are hidden items, secret items, I call them. And to collect all the parchments, you have to collect all the secret items. Yeah, just to repeat that fact. We are about to finish. It's the second last room for any percent, I believe. The best way to do that is to start filling up this room with boulders on the left. Then you fill up the right side, and then you take the middle one. In my opinion, that's the best solution, because you are not getting in your own way by pushing around these boulders in the target room. So that should be fine. That should be fine. Let's do that. And here we are doing this. Maybe this room contains some potential for improvement by placing, before you head over to the upper area, maybe placing these boulders a little bit more conveniently to access them faster and to push them over to the top side a little bit faster. I don't know. You should test that. So the run is not 100% perfectly optimized, as you can tell. There's also no competition. Maybe we get some competition, but I met some people who tried to start to run the game, and they wanted to play through the game in a casual way, and they just decided to not do that because they got frustrated. The game is really frustrating and not very forgiving. So especially the jumping section can be really tough to get through that when you play this game for the first time. It's also the place, or it's also the world, or the situation where I got stuck when I was playing this game for the first time. I wanted to play through the game when I was a kid. I got it when I was a kid, and I never mentioned to get past World 3. That's pretty sad. So I just played through the game as soon as I decided to start running this game, actually. Jumping section can be pretty hard. Also fighting dragons can be really hard. I would recommend, if you want to, that's the point. That's the point I wanted to make. If you want to play through the game casually, you can get some help by heading over to gamefaqs.com or whatever and type in Quest for Camelot. There is a lot of material, not a lot of, but a very detailed material, like a walkthrough that is pretty nice to have. And more importantly, there is a collection of maps. So you have all the maps of every room, and with item locations, NPC locations and all that stuff. That's also the main resource for rooting the game for me, and it was the main resource for me to root the game any percent and 100%, because it's really helpful to know where everything is, obviously. So this is the last room before we get the snorkel, and then we have to do 3 additional rooms, as I said, which is not too bad because it will be over in a couple of minutes, I think. That is actually a mistake. I can do it faster by just pushing it one tile one more tile downwards, and then... No, it's wrong. I have to go this way, yes. Kind of confused right now, sorry. I'm not doing this for the first time, by the way. So, this is a snorkel. And there are some items that you have to equip right away, because otherwise you forget and will be very sad when you just die because you did not equip the snorkel. So Merlin just asks us yes or no, and we have to say yes. Yeah, which system is it on? It's the Game Boy. It's Game Boy. It's a Game Boy Color game, but you can also play it on Game Boy, but only in black and white. Which means for Game Boy it's green and a different green. So I'm currently playing on Game Boy Player on GameCube with not the original GameCube controller. I bought some. It's kind of a Wii Classic controller. It looks like a Wii Classic controller a little bit because it has a better D-pad. It's some Chinese whatever product. It's actually a pretty crappy thing, but the D-pad is pretty nice, so it's good to have that. Because the D-pad on the GameCube, on the original GameCube controller, is pretty bad for playing Game Boy games. So that's why I bought this thing. The only downside of this controller is I have to make sure not to accidentally hit the turbo button, because that would be very, very stressful to get it off. Because as soon as I hit this strange button, the pause menu will open and close again and again, which is pretty... I'm confused. I think I have to... Yes, I was wrong. Okay, I have to... Sorry. I wasn't sure if I took the right or the left side. Another downside of this controller is I have to do this. Let me think for a moment. Yes, I got it. The other downside of this controller is for a brief moment I thought I messed up, but I didn't. The other downside is there are some 3D control sticks on it, like a left one and a right one, and I have to make sure to not touch them because it will mess up my controls for whatever reason. So this controller is kind of crappy, but I have done some marathon runs with it, so it's not impossible to run this game on this controller, but it takes a little bit of practice to not accidentally push any buttons that you do not want to push. It's strange, but it works, so I keep doing that. I could also use the Game Boy Advance with this nice little adapter cable. That would actually be better, but I do not want to have this Game Boy... It's too much cable stuff running around through the room for me, so I do not do that. Maybe I should, because it's a way better controller than this one, but no, I don't know. So this is the last room that we have to do. So we are finally done with boulder pushing, hooray! And we got the heart container in this area, which is nice. So yeah. Also, this is the PAL version, because it's a European version, and the PAL console and a PAL TV. I'm playing on a CRT, of course. Also, I'm 400 milliseconds ahead, because I see everything a little bit earlier than you. Except the sound effects, I had to delay the sound effects by 400 milliseconds in order to make it synchronously on your side. So I'm always a little bit ahead, and as soon as I hear the sound effect I already did the attack and stuff, but that's not too big of a deal. This is the ogre, and the fight is going pretty well actually. As you can see, the ogre is a boss that has lots of HP and doesn't take that much damage. It takes a long time to kill him, but you just have to stun lock him. I figured out that's the fastest way. In my opinion, that's the fastest way to kill this guy. That was a perfect fight. Sometimes he breaks free of his stun lock and you have to do it again. And also I used a nice little trick there. As soon as you run into a boss, with the dot attack and start slashing immediately, you will not get some recoil, and you do not have to adjust for recoil. Otherwise you have that spices up the fight a little bit. So this is the next area, which is pretty important for the end of the game, because we will prepare something here. We will prepare ourselves for the rest of the game, and we will reach sword level 4 finally. And that's the most important thing that we have to do in this area here. So we kill more soldiers until we reach sword level 4, which should happen soon, hopefully very soonish. Oh, I get hit here. It doesn't matter if I get hit here, because I can dig out hearts, and this is a very scary enemy. This is called the Wood Golem. The Wood Golem is pretty strong. He deals 2 hearts of damage. It's the first enemy that does that, and we do not want him to do that. We just go over here. It absolutely is. You are right. So now we want to trap him in this arena, but he is not willing to stay there, so he just breaks the door. And now there are bushes that have appeared everywhere on the screen. This is also a situation where you can use the compass to find all these bushes, and because you have to cut them down, all of them, in order to make the Wood Golem vulnerable. Because, oh, sword level 4 already, very nice. That's because of the extra amount of XP that I farmed to have that as backup. Yes, really got it. So everything is fine now for the rest of the run. Should be fine. Everything should be fine. We have to cut down bushes to make him vulnerable, as I said. At the moment you can try, but you cannot hit him. He will not lose any hearts, he will not take any damage. That's the right word. And I actually do not have to kill any more soldiers, by the way, because I already have sword level 4. But I have to do this, and I have to take the salt container. The second last salt container of the game. We're almost done. We're almost there. Just... Actually, it's still half an hour. There's a lot of stuff to do in this game. So this is Garrett also. We do not talk to him, we do not need to talk to him. He is telling us about this trap, and he's giving us this advice to trap the Wood Golem. Also, I will do a safety save, because I really don't want to get hit by the Wood Golem. I have to make sure to not do that. That's pretty important. And now I have to kill this guy, hopefully without getting hit. The reason why I'm not running into him and killing him fast is because his hitbox is very strange. Sometimes he can hit you, and he just did. So I messed up. I will just die. I'm sorry about that. That's a mistake. So also you can see a nice picture of Ceruber, because that was just intentional. And we load the save file again and do it again. No problem. That's the reason I always take a save before killing the Wood Golem. Now everything went fine. No worries. He tells us to leave, or he asks us, no, he commands us to leave his forest, which we will gratefully do. The reason why we have to defeat this guy is there's a bridge here that is blocked until you kill the Wood Golem. And now we got a different RNG, but that shouldn't be a problem. This snake can be killed, it's not a big of a deal. And this is the Swordmaster for the last time. You have done very well. As soon as he says that, you are pretty sure he learned the last attack, which is this one. It's the lunge attack, and it deals a lot of damage, but we will never use it intentionally. Sometimes it happens that we use it unintentionally, but I do not plan to use it. But it doesn't matter. The dot attack is pretty much important, but this lunge attack is not that important, but I decided to make that rule that you have to learn all the sword techniques in this game to get 100%. So why not? And that's why we need sword level 4. So now we have to collect an orange and an apple, because guess what? There's Devon and Cornwall with his 2 heads, and one head is pretty much fancy about apples and one head is fancy about oranges, and we need to feed him in order to give him enough power to be able to fly finally, and that's the solution to this question that you didn't know, obviously, because how could you? How could you know? Because this situation just appears now. He's not able to fly, but now that he got his vegetables, he is able, or his fruits. So that tells us, or that teaches us, that you have to eat healthy in order to be powerful enough to fulfill your dreams, so to speak. So this game is actually pretty nice, because it teaches us things about our life. Not too bad. So now we are in a kind of an auto-scroller, which is this map cycling below us 4 times. We have to fly over the same map 4 times until the boss appears, and we can kill bats on the way, or we can just stick to the side and let it go. It doesn't matter, we cannot speed up the process. There are 2 modes, or 2 speeds, 2 velocities that we can use to fly. This is the fastest one. If you press up, you speed up, and if you press down, you slow down, obviously. And as soon as the section starts, I always speed up, and then this is the fastest speed that you can go, which is pretty lame, but you cannot do anything about that. As you could see, that was a little skip there, so we got through the 3rd cycle, I believe. So we have to do it once more, and then the boss appears. Let's see how it goes. It's pretty boring, actually, this part. Now that I oh, the boss appears, okay. It was the 4th cycle. So this is the easiest boss in video game history, in my opinion, because you only have to do that. He can attack you as soon as you mess up the pattern and be too close to him, or do not cross his direction. If you always go in the counter direction as he does, you will not see his attack, and you are just good to go. I do not know if there is a faster way to kill that thing, but that seems to be the fastest way, even if it's very slow. But it's also the safest. It's also the safest way to kill that boss. It's 100% consistent. You cannot fail this. If you just stick to the pattern, you cannot do anything wrong, and you will not be attacked even once, which is pretty nice. So easiest boss in video game history, as I said. There's more of that. There's more records like that. So I will tell you as soon as we get there. Got the next parchment, pretty nice, and there's only 2 left, I think. 2 parchments left. Now we're in World 7, and we are pretty close to the end right now. There are only 3 bosses remaining, and a couple of things to do. First, we have to equip the grappling hook, and as I said before, there are 2 locations where you need the grappling hook. This is the 2nd one. This is the X-Beak. The X-Beak is a pretty nice NPC. We need him to help us, and we need him to proceed and to get all the items that we have to collect in this area. But before he can do anything, and before he's actually able to help us, we need to feed him, and he wants some magical seeds or something, because he's kind of a bird. And this man is willing to give us these magical seeds, and he's also giving us a task to find his magical insect that he calls his pet or something. And yeah, now we need the blade beak to find this magical insect. The reason why we are doing this is this is actually Castle Camelot, and we have to access Camelot That was a mistake. I have to equip the magical seeds before I talk to him. Sorry about that. Now he is not hungry anymore and he is following us. And this is the next record the game has. This is the worst AI in video game history, in my opinion, because it really is. As you can see, you need him to follow you, and you actually, come on, you need him to crush these walls in order to make it possible for you to go through and collect this magical insect. And now, because we have this 100% category going on, we need him to follow us all the way across the castle walls to the other side of the castle, because there is another item that we have to get. And I want to kill this mouse, thank you. I just want as many mice as possible, to kill as many mice as possible, because they are in my way to run away later, because I have to run all the way back, and without these mice it's easier, and I do not really want to lose that many hearts here. Come on, please. I really want to manage my health a little bit in this section. Let me just kill that one, because it's so conveniently placed on the wall. It's pretty nice to run into them when they are close to a wall, and otherwise you just get hit like I did now. Okay, everything's fine. So yeah, there is actually a faster way to get him down here. There might be a faster way. When it comes to distance, there is a shorter way, but it's not faster, because for some reason you can see the right side of the castle wall is also accessible. You can crush some walls and then you can just go there. But for some reason, the Bladebeak is not able to crush walls when he's facing downwards. He really isn't. He can do that, but it takes very long time to make him do that. So there's a video on my YouTube channel that shows how stupid this is and how long it takes to take him down there. So that's why I came up with the idea to take him all the way around the castle to get down there. The reason why we did that is we needed this little gem, which is a secret item that we have to get. Now we got the magical insect, take it back to this man, and it turns out this man is actually evil. He's not helping us to get into the castle. Instead he's throwing us into the dungeon. Conveniently enough, there is a key hidden here under some dirt or something, and we can just use the key to get free again. And to free ourselves, grab a heart container. It's actually not a dungeon, it's a stables, but anyway. And now we still have to find the key to the castle. The key that we just grabbed on the castle walls is not the right key. It doesn't open the door to the castle, but it opens a door inside the castle, which will come into play later and will become important in a couple of seconds actually. So now we have to, we can enter this house. There's a farmer here, which is actually a blacksmith again. So that's the last time the game does that joke. And he gives us back our sword, and he helps us by giving us the key to the castle. Also, because we got the sword back, we can run finally again, which is nice. It's pretty strange because at this point in the game you are used to running and then you cannot run because the sword is taken from you. And now you can run again. So we kill this guy, grab the key, and now we are inside the castle. But we cannot just proceed and get to the throne room or wherever we are supposed to go. I think it is the throne room. We just have to solve a little puzzle here, because this game likes puzzles. I want to kill this one. Okay, thank you. So, in order to do that, we have to open up a various amount of doors, and each door is locked and can only be opened with a certain key, with a specific key that we have to find. So, This is a kind of a maze. There are lots of doors, and as soon as you got to them, when you do not have the right key, it just doesn't open, and it says something like the door is locked. You have to find a key. And let me try that. Wow, that's pretty cool. Normally I get hit by this guy, but this time I got around that. But we have to cross this doorway twice, so there's another chance for this guy to get me. Wow, 2 hearts. Pretty nice. Doing good so far. We have to go over here, take this key. And this is a section you really have to learn by heart. It doesn't give you any hints on which key opens which door and stuff. You really have to learn it and do it all the time. Do it the same all the time. In the same manner. Now you have to go back to the ghosts. Also, as you can see, the enemies run a little bit faster and they move a little bit faster. The reason for that is the magical insect that we just brought to this man. Because this man was actually a magician and he created a potion from... or this magical insect was actually an ingredient for the potion. That was wrong. I just wanted to show you how these doors are locked and stuff. So, it doesn't matter. We have to go this way, of course. Kill this guy, take this key. Yes, and the magical insect was an ingredient for a potion that this guy created, and it makes Rubo's army to be stronger, and which actually means that they are going faster. They're running faster. Just wait for that and kill it. Okay. As you could see, as soon as I step on a tile where a door previously was located, Kaylee just immediately stops running, which is pretty stupid. Because you have to do the dot attack again. And also I cannot start running when I am standing in a tile that contained a door before, which is pretty stupid because I cannot defend myself in a proper way. So only 2 keys left. It's this one. Do not forget this one. I had a run where I forgot this key, which is pretty bad, because you have to backtrack all the way over here. So now we can exit this area. We are done here. We got all the keys. Okay, 1 heart short. It's not too bad. The upcoming boss fight can be really easy or really finicky, depending on how RNG and how the boss really behaves. If he decides to be a troll, then the fight can be pretty dangerous. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty easy. Taking the last key. This is the last key, and it opens the boss room. And there's 1 key in this area that is not required. It's a fake key. It doesn't open any door. Instead, you have to collect the key outside on the castle walls. That is actually the 2nd key that you need. So it opens the 2nd door. And this is the boss arena. Now we are facing the Griffin. It's actually the guy who stole Excalibur and dropped it into the forest. And we want him to be exactly in this spot. He hit me. He hit me again. Now I'm fine. Okay. I try to run into this boss to not have the recoil, and then I trap him inside or in this corner. Because there's a skull down there, he cannot just break free downwards. He also is not able to run away because he's programmed in a way that he always tries to chase me. So sometimes he will just turn away, go a couple of steps, and take a couple of steps, and then turn back and flies over at me. Wants to kill me, but without any success. As you could see, that fight was going pretty well. And in my opinion, that's the fastest way to kill that guy. I do not think that there's a better way to do that, because otherwise he would just fly around in the room and you have to chase him. This way you can just place him in the corner and keep him there in order to kill him fast. So, 2nd last parchment, only 1 left, which means we only have 1 world left, which is the last world. It's kind of the basement of Camelot, I think. And in this area we need the lead bracelet. because as Kaylee states, there is a strong wind here. Do not know if you could read that because it was going away pretty fast, but yeah, that's a small hallway here, and there's a strong wind in here. Sometimes you get attacked by a mouse when you are on your way down, which is pretty bad because you cannot really defend yourself when you are in this strong wind. Then you are pushed back and have to do it all over. But I got the heart back, very nice. Nice little stone puzzle again, so you hear this high-pitched squeaky note again. Because I did not mess up, luckily. So this mouse has to be killed. All the mice in this area have to be killed. Because we have... Oh my god, I'm doing strange right now. That was pretty strange, okay. So we are done with mice, now we have to deal with bats. They are even worse, in my opinion, because they fly around. Oh my god. Okay, I practiced a little bit. This section before I started the run today, I practiced this section a little bit and I was doing a lot better. But this time I just can't. I want to get hearts. Sometimes this bat attacks you right into the hallway, sometimes it just doesn't. And we have to... Now I'm stuck inside a bat, very nice. Perfect. This can happen a lot in this game, that your hitbox gets stuck inside another hitbox and you just are about to die. If you cannot kill the other one faster, then you die yourself. So, and for the fans of jumping sections, there's another jumping section right here, and it's even harder than the one before. You have to place yourself on a specific on a specific amount of pixels to not jump too far, because when you are just intentionally place yourself on the bottom of these boards or planks or bars, wooden bars, you will just jump too far and you will just die. So I don't think that my health is too good. Is looking too good. It's pretty bad. No hearts. Okay, doesn't matter. We still have a heart refill. We should be good to go. I should take out this guy. Let's take it slow. Can you get... Oh my god. Okay, I'm doing really stupid right now. Don't know why. And no hearts for me. Bad luck. Maybe because I died. Oh, that was close. That was close. Okay. And once again, last enemy. Got a heart, thank you. And now I do a little safety save here, because reasons. The upcoming boss is a very, very strange boss. Not because the boss itself is strange, but fighting him is very, very strange. You cannot use items. You really have to hit him with your sword, and you have to follow a certain pattern, which is pretty stupid and pretty lame. This is the super minion. It's actually the room with the round table, by the way. And this is the super minion hiding here and doing his little dance, and you have to wait for him to stop moving, and then you can just hit him. No hearts, no. Where's the love? So, we have to hit him as soon as he stops moving, otherwise he would shoot at us. He can shoot projectiles in 4 directions, either straight or diagonal. It's completely random. And that's not the worst part. The worst part is you have to hit him, because otherwise he would just chase you, and when he chases you he can easily drag you into his hitbox, and then you are pretty much dead, because you cannot escape. As soon as you are dragged into his hitbox, you are, as I said, you are dead. That's pretty much it. You cannot break free, and you cannot slash him away or push him back, because you cannot hurt him you only can hurt him as soon as he stops moving. And when you are inside his hitbox, he never stops. And he never becomes vulnerable. And he has lots of health, as you can tell, so you are not able to kill him faster than you die. So the run is pretty much over. there was a run that was on world record pace and died just because of that, which was pretty sad actually. So I want to make sure to I want to make sure that this does not happen, and I want to kill him as fast as possible, which is the fastest way is to hit him as soon as he stops moving. Oh, that was wrong. Now he chases me and he stops moving. Okay, that was a nice save. When you hit him too early, as you could see, he also starts chasing you. Wow, that was a pretty good fight. Didn't get hurt, didn't get stuck, didn't soft lock. Pretty nice. And we're done with this section. And we're almost done with the run. My god. Not a sub 130, unfortunately. The world record is at 128 something, but it's not submitted to the leaderboard yet because I just got it yesterday. I was doing a little de-rusting and a little practice for NGA, and then I got 2 world records in a row. No, not really in a row, but almost. That's pretty nice. So the marathon helped me to get a new world record in this game. So thanks for that. So now we are facing Ruber again, the last boss. Also, we do not have the option to save again before this boss fight, which is bad, but hopefully we can do this without messing up too much. There's a pattern that I have to follow. The other bosses you saw me, what I was doing was I tried to stun lock them at a certain spot, mostly close to a wall or in the corner, and then I started to slash at them and mash the B button or the sword button in a frantic way to kill them fast. It's not possible to do this with Ruber because he breaks free from time to time and breaks the stun lock. You have to move away a couple of steps and then you have to approach him again in order to keep him in this side, on the wall or in the corner. That's the only way you can do that. Otherwise, when you are too close to him for too long, he will just jump at you. He will become invulnerable for a short amount of time and he will jump at you. So he will break free and hurt you, and it's not nice. So what you want to do is you want to stick to that pattern until he loses all his health. Then he starts to learn a new attack like he did now. He starts to use the spin attack, or he starts to being able to use the spin attack, and the process repeats. You have to deal damage again, and he gets a 3rd health bar, and you do not have to kill him again, or do not have to hit him again. The only thing that is left to do, and when you saw the movie you will know that, he has to put the sword back, because that's Excalibur, by the way. He has to put Excalibur back into the stone, which results in a big explosion, a magic explosion, and the run is done. Forgot to have the timer. Okay, that was a pretty good time actually. So here we are. Finally, we killed Ruber. The sword is back. Was put back into the stone. That's King Arthur, by the way. He pulls it out again, and everything is fine, and peace returned to Camelot for once. And the evil is vanished from Camelot. Pretty well. That's Quest for Camelot. Thanks for the GG. And yeah, we also saved our mother. Juliana was her name. Thank you. And we have a little cutscene. That's actually the good ending, or the best ending, because we collected all the parchments and collected everything. We get nice little fireworks and all that stuff. Also, these parchments are part of a bigger scroll, and the scroll contains a spell that Merlin can use to return everything to normal. Like Ruber used some magicians and evil dark magic to turn people and animals into demon soldiers, like the Bladebeak, and with the spell everything can be returned to normal. So that's why we get the best ending. Also, Devon and Conlo can fly now, they are happy, and the kingdom's strength is not based on its king, but rather it's based on the strength of its people. Of course it does. And the last thing we do is we are now knight, or I don't know what the the female word for that is. I don't know. So Kaylee is now a knight, and everything is restored to its proper glory. Ruber is destroyed. He really died in the process, so he cannot come back. Bladebeak is also returned to normal, as the text says. And wow, Kaylee is actually a Knight of the Round Table now, and this is the last screen, or the last picture that you get. That's Merlin looking a little bit not very funny, not very amused. But this is the status screen that I mentioned, and it says that we collected all the parchments, all the items, and that's the word is knight. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, of course it is. Why not? No night dresses or something like that. I don't know. So yeah, that's a quest for Camelot with 100%. As you see, there's an in-game timer that doesn't night test, of course. It doesn't mean too much. The in-game time. We use a real time, and yeah, if you want to try it out, feel free to head over to speedrun.com. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Thank you. Nice to know. Yeah, head over to speedrun.com to the leaderboard. You can find lots of material there, like the guide for any percent and the link to the video for 100%, the showcase tutorial video. And you can find nice little icons that you can use in LiveSplit, which is pretty cool. You can also find the world records, the current world record splits as it is on the leaderboard, the 133, but there's a 128 waiting for you, and I will submit that once I get the time. So thanks for watching, thanks for having me. I really appreciate that. Thanks for having me. I'm super grateful that I could show off this run to the public, and yeah. That's it. Hi.
Thank you for running.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Yes. It was a blast.
I'm glad you had fun. We enjoyed watching. Alright guys, so we are on to the final run. It is the moment that everybody's been waiting for, and probably a little sad about that. But it is time for the final run. It is going to be Harry Potter 2. We're going to put some music on, and we're going to go ahead and get that set up for you guys.